Welcome back to my channel where I take calls and offer guidance through life's challenges. Today's caller is Alyssa, a self-critical nursing assistant who feels like she's falling behind in life. If listening in on these conversations brings you comfort, please subscribe and join our community. Let's jump right in. This is your father figure, the dad who listens and actually hears you.
Hello, I'm Alyssa. How are you? Wait, sorry, I've never done this before.
Take your time, Alyssa. There's no wrong way to do this.
Right, I can just jump right into it?
By all means, you jump and I'll catch.
Oh, well, I guess. I feel like I'm drowning. I've been doing this for 5 years, working as a care aide, and lately I can't shake this feeling that I've wasted so much time.
What makes you feel like it's been wasted, Alyssa?
All my friends are getting married, having kids, buying houses. And here I am, living with roommates in a tiny apartment in Toronto, working night shifts, delaying nursing school. I used to think I was helping people, making a difference. Now I just feel stuck.
That sounds like a heavy burden you've been carrying.
It is. And the scariest part? After all that effort, I don't think I want to do this anymore. I told everyone this is the year I would start nursing school. But I don't want to go into debt for that. I want to do something else, but I'm too old to start over, aren't I? I'm 27, for God's sake.
Why do you feel 27 is too old?
Isn't it old? By now, I should have had it all figured out. I always pictured myself married by 25. Instead, my life is just empty.
27 may feel old to you, but life doesn't have a set timeline, no matter what society or your own expectations might make you believe. I want you to remember that you're not alone in feeling this way. So many people wake up one day and realize they're not where they thought they'd be. Your life isn't empty. It's just waiting for you to fill it with what truly matters to you. What would you say has been stopping you from doing that?
Well, time, energy. Pick one. People don't understand how draining a shift in the hospital is. By the time I finish an 8-hour shift, I can barely heat up dinner.
What about on your days off?
Those are a joke. I spend the first day sleeping, trying to reset my body clock. Then on the second day, I just rot, scroll through Instagram, seeing everyone's side hustle and passion projects. My friend B started selling her paintings on Etsy about 2 years ago, and now she's making good money from it.
Does that interest you, starting something of your own?
Well, that's the thing. I don't even know what I like anymore. When was the last time I did something just for fun? I keep telling myself I'll start a vlog, or learn photography, or whatever. But then I think about how if I'd started 5 years ago, I might actually be good at something by now.
It sounds like you're feeling like you've lost touch with the things that bring you joy after years of hard work. It's easy to get caught in a loop of if only. If only you'd started earlier. If only you had more time. If only things were different. But let me ask you this. When you picture yourself having it all figured out, what does that actually look like for you?
Just normal things. Having someone to come home to. Having enough savings that I don't panic when my car makes a weird noise. Maybe doing something I actually look forward to, instead of counting down the hours until my shift ends.
Those are all meaningful goals. What would you say is holding you back from taking steps toward them right now? Sometimes the obstacles we think are immovable are more about mindset than reality. What do you think is at the root of it?
Respectfully, I don't think the root really matters. I have tried and nothing works out. Like with dating, there are literally no options. Everyone's either married or, well, you should see some of the Tinder profiles. And saving has been challenging, even after cutting back on expenses. I've had to stop buying grapes, which is like my favorite fruit of all time.
I hear you, Alyssa. Let's explore some possibilities. Have you thought about moving to a more affordable area? It could ease some financial pressure and even introduce you to a new dating pool with fresh opportunities.
And start over somewhere new? I don't know. That's extreme. Besides, my parents are here, my friends, what's left of them anyway.
It sounds like you've built quite a list of reasons why things won't work.
They're not excuses, they're reality. You try working nights, being exhausted all the time, and still somehow maintaining a life.
You're right, it's not easy. But there are people who work nights and still manage to build a life they're proud of. It's not impossible, but it sounds like it feels that way for you. What about your situation makes it feel so different?
Well, I guess I'm just not as strong as them. Or maybe they have better support systems.
Strength isn't about doing it all at once, Alyssa. It's about starting where you are. Instead of comparing yourself to others, what's one small step you could take tomorrow to make things feel just a little bit better?
Like what? Sign up for Tinder Plus? Take some classes? Like I said, I've tried all that. It just feels like throwing money I don't have at problems that are too big to fix.
Sometimes the smallest changes lead to the biggest transformations. Have you considered—
Look, I appreciate what you're trying to do, but you make it sound so simple. Just change your life. Just move. Just date. If it were that easy, don't you think I would have it figured out by now?
Okay, Alyssa, I think we should take a moment to breathe. Take a deep breath for me. Sometimes when we're overwhelmed, everything feels impossible.
You're right. Sorry for snapping.
You're carrying a lot, and it's okay to feel frustrated. Can I share an observation?
Sure.
You've spent 5 years in this situation, working nights, feeling isolated, watching life pass by, and you're unhappy.
Yeah.
If nothing changes, where will you be in another 5 years?
Probably exactly where I am now. God, that's depressing. I'm so burnt out.
So what's scarier, committing to change or staying exactly where you are?
You make it sound so simple.
The path you're on, you already know where it leads. Any other path has to offer more than guaranteed unhappiness. It can be scary to navigate the unknown, but precisely because of the uncertainty, anything is possible.
But what if I fail?
What would failing feel like? Worse than how you feel right now?
No, I guess not. It's just, everything feels so big, so permanent.
Nothing is permanent. Every choice can be unmade. Every path can be redirected. The only true failure is letting fear keep you in a situation that's slowly draining your spirit.
I hear what you're saying about change, but where do I even start this time?
What's the first thing that comes to mind right now when you think about change?
Well, you've kind of planted the idea of moving. Maybe moving. But then I think about job hunting, apartment searching.
Are all those things equally daunting?
Well, I think apartment hunting is the most daunting.
If you could live anywhere in the area, where would it be?
Hamilton's cheaper. My friend moved there last year. Says she actually has money left over after rent now.
And how far is Hamilton from Toronto?
About an hour, not terrible. They have hospitals too.
What's stopping you from looking at rental listings there, just looking?
Nothing, I guess. I could do that right now on my phone.
Would you like to do that while we talk?
Yeah. Okay, wow. These prices. I could get a 2-bedroom for what I'm paying for my Toronto shoebox.
How does seeing those prices make you feel?
Like maybe this isn't impossible? But then I think about actually doing it and my stomach knots up.
What's the worst that could happen if you just started gathering information?
Information, like rental prices and job postings?
Exactly. No commitments, just research.
That doesn't sound so scary. I could do that.
Sometimes we paralyze ourselves thinking we have to solve everything at once.
Yeah, you're right. I don't have to figure it all out today. I can just look around, see what's out there. Mr. Fig, I keep looking at these Hamilton listings, but my parents are here. My friends, too.
How often do you see them?
Well, with my schedule, I try my best.
When was the last time you had dinner with your parents?
Christmas and my mom's birthday in February.
So, if not for Christmas, the last time you would have seen your family would be about a year ago. And your friends?
Bea used to come over after her art classes, but that was before she got married. Now everyone's so busy.
So not very often?
When you put it like that, I guess I don't see them that much.
What prevents you from seeing them more often?
My night shifts mess everything up. By the time I'm awake, everyone's at work. When they're free on weekends, I'm either working or too exhausted.
So distance isn't the main barrier?
Not really. Even living close by, I barely see anyone.
If you lived in Hamilton but had more energy and regular hours, how would that change things?
I could actually plan ahead. Maybe drive in for Sunday dinners with my parents. Meet friends for brunch instead of always canceling. I could also try working in long-term care. They should have better hours.
I'm glad you're considering other possibilities, Alyssa. You might have to drive an hour to see your family and friends, but it may end up being more quality time.
That's actually true.
And with the money you'd save?
I could afford gas for those drives. Maybe even host people at my place if I had more space. But Mr. Fig, I can't help but think, I've tried making changes before. I make these big plans, get all excited, then nothing. I let myself down every time.
Tell me about one of those times.
Last year I signed up for an annual plan at the gym. Only went twice. The charge still hits my account every month.
What happened after those 2 visits?
Had a rough week at work. Told myself I'd go next week. Then next week turned into next month.
And how did you feel about yourself after?
Like shit, like I can't do anything.
Alyssa, what patient population do you work with?
Oh, people recovering from surgeries mostly? Why?
If a patient needed to walk after a major surgery, would you expect them to run a marathon on day 1?
Of course not. It takes 3 days to even get them walking to the bathroom.
Why do you give your patients that grace but not yourself?
Well, they're healing from a major surgery. I didn't have major surgery.
Isn't burnout worth healing from?
Well,
5 years of night shifts, isolation, watching life pass by, that doesn't leave wounds?
when you put it that way,
So why doesn't Alyssa deserve the same gentle approach she gives her patients?
I just feel like I should be stronger than this.
It seems to me that you've been so hard on yourself lately, you've lost trust in your own ability to make progress. But the truth is, you've been navigating so much, and you're still here. That takes strength, even if it doesn't always feel like it. Small wins build trust with ourselves, Alyssa. Every time we honor even the tiniest promise, we prove to ourselves that we're capable, and that trust, no matter how small, lays the foundation for bigger things to come.
So I should start smaller?
Much smaller. What's something so small you're absolutely certain you could do tomorrow?
I guess folding my clothes. That's pretty basic.
Perfect. Not organizing the whole apartment, not decluttering your life, just folding clothes.
And that's supposed to help build confidence?
Each small promise kept is a brick in the foundation of self-trust. The size doesn't matter, only that we follow through.
But what about the bigger changes? Like moving?
Those come after. Right now, focus on proving to yourself that when you say you'll do something, you do it, no matter how tiny.
I almost feel better. But this is so pathetic. Other people are out there starting businesses, and here I am, celebrating folding my clothes?
Why do you feel it's pathetic?
Because everyone else does not need to start this small. They just do things. Like Bea. She was always artistic before she picked up painting.
How do you know what other people's starting points are? Did you watch Bea every step of the way?
No, but
Do you realize you're comparing your starting line to other people's finish line?
I guess I am, aren't I?
What if B spent years just learning color theory before finally painting something she was proud of, something that she could share with the world? Do you know how many canvases she might have discarded before her first sale?
Well, she never mentioned that part.
People rarely share their stumbles, their doubts, their tiny first steps. When you help a patient recover, do you consider their small victories pathetic?
Of course not. The first time they sit up on their own, it's huge.
Why is that different from your situation?
Fine, Mr. Fig. Maybe I was too hard on myself all this time.
That's a powerful realization, Alyssa.
Still terrifying, though. But I guess a good kind of terrifying? Like when you're about to do something important.
Those feelings often go hand in hand. Remember, start with folding the clothes tomorrow.
Yes, one tiny promise to myself. Mr. Fig, thank you. People usually just brush me off.
Your struggles are real, and now you have somewhere to start.
A starting line that's actually at the start. What a concept.
I wish you the best on your journey, Alyssa, one small step at a time.
Thank you, really.
People like Alyssa are caught in a cycle that's hard to see from the inside. They're not lazy or unmotivated. They're wounded by years of unmet expectations and societal pressure. Did you notice how she compared herself to others at every turn? The key was helping her understand that healing doesn't start with grand gestures. It starts with rebuilding trust in yourself through small, manageable promises. When someone's been breaking promises to themselves for years, they need to start at the beginning, just like she does with her patients. The most powerful moment wasn't when we discussed moving or changing jobs. It was when she recognized that her burnout deserved the same compassionate approach she gives to others. Sometimes people need permission to be gentle with themselves. Remember this, the size of the first step doesn't matter. What matters is that it's a step you can actually take. Everything else builds from there. Your father figure, signing off.